Welcome to Water Talk, live from Chicago, Illinois, and our exclusive coverage from Weftec. Weftec 17, moving water to the forefront of innovation. Water Talk is made possible by wateronline.com, showcasing today's water industry leaders and innovators. And now, here is your host, Todd Schnick.
All right, good afternoon and welcome back to Water Talk. I am your host, Todd Schnick, joined by my friend and colleague, Bill King. We were just talking before we went live here about just what a great bunch of diverse conversations we've had here at Weftec. Scintillating conversations on such a broad array of discussions.
Yeah, it's been 3 days of fascinating conversations, and it feels like here we are, day 3. We're getting towards the end of the expo, and the quality of guests has just gone through the roof.
Well, it's the main stage, right? It's the encore. It's the big final acts.
That's exactly right.
Right. So let's get to it. We're joined now by John Walton, the Vice-President of Technology with USP Technologies. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. Appreciate you making time to join us. I know you're awfully busy here at Weftec, so grateful for you swinging by. John, take a quick second and inform the audience about USP Technologies. How are you serving your marketplace?
Sure. So USP Technologies is a variable cost solutions provider. We make our money through providing chemical services to the municipal wastewater treatment industry. That includes services, professional services, chemical sales, as well with all the associated equipment, be that storage and dosing systems, telemetry, and cloud reporting.
So it sounds like you have a lot of value to offer to your customers. What is it specifically that sets you apart from the others in the industry?
Sure. If you look at the industry, it's kind of focused in tiers to where you have conventional chemical providers to where they provide chemicals only. Then there's another tier of the industry, which is a full service component, and they pretty much offer the complete package solutions. And that allows folks to mobilize and provide solutions in relatively short term, so you can get something in the field operating in a matter of weeks, whereas a conventional approach might be take years to go through design, permitting, and procurement.
Well, we sure respect some of the great things that you're doing in the industry, but one thing I want to highlight here that I'm pretty intrigued about, we understand that one of your customers was recently awarded the prestigious 2017 Florida Water Environment Foundation Environmental Stewardship Award for odor control. That's big stuff. Walk us through how that happened and what that actually means.
Sure. That was in the city of Jacksonville, and of course that's their award, not ours. We were one of many components that allowed them to achieve that. Certainly there are other suppliers as well as themselves. But our role in helping them out is we manage the odor control program in the collection systems. And Jacksonville is quite a large facility, one of the largest in North America in terms of the mileage of pipes and the flows that are in retention times, which is contributing to the odors. So we manage a couple of dozen chemical installations throughout the city to where we have a team of a handful of people that is their job doing that. And we've been servicing them, if not through this company, through the people involved in the company for upwards of two decades or so. So it's a long-term relationship, and it really stands for the incremental growth as new problems arise, how we're able to contribute and to help solve those problems.
Outstanding.
John, we hear a lot about in this industry an older generation of professional that is looking to retire and those types of things. And it seems like your company really can help provide the knowledge and some of that service that maybe is sort of falling through the cracks a little bit. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that kind of generational change and how USP Technology sort of fits those people that need some assistance.
Absolutely. I would say on the one point, there's the obvious approach that by a company that is exposed to a wide range of problems among our customers' peers, we do develop naturally an in-house expertise in looking at a range of problems, and so we can, when a new demand comes up, we can look at it and say, oh, we've seen that before. So it's that institutional knowledge that can be built, and as we grow our employee base as well in service, that we're certainly one resource that a municipality can draw from to incrementally offset the aging workforce.
So you all exhibited here at Weftec. What did you principally showcase? What generated some buzz? And I'm curious about this. What were some of the main questions that you were asked by people that swung by?
Sure. Yeah, the main message I think that we wanted to get forth was as an operating expense solutions company. So what we focus on, we do not sell our capital equipment. We typically don't even rent it. It is part of an overall package. And so in that sense, our value proposition, we focus on new problems because our expertise is in solving new problems. And in doing that, we strive in almost all cases to get paid by the savings we provide our customers. So if we provide them $1 in savings, we get some of that in return and they get the rest. The challenge in today's industry in a complicated plant is that you make one change in one part of the plant and it ricochets around and affects several other processes. So
right.
it might be a simple looking solution, but in reality, trying to put a dollar number on all those savings and then get the customer to recognize that and to share in those savings is quite a challenge.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it.
What would be a good example of one of these new problems that you've been identifying more recently?
One that's of great excitement to us is the demands for supplemental carbon in municipalities beginning to address nutrient removal. So in the nutrient removal process itself, there are two applications points that need supplemental carbon. One being the denitrification step to remove nitrogen, and the second being biological phosphorus removal, which requires what we call VFA, or volatile fatty acids. In many cases, the chemicals that are being dosed into the collection system to control sulfide, odors, and corrosion are counterproductive to that provision of supplemental carbon. And in some cases, to the extent that municipalities spend a lot of big money on part of their chemical budget bringing in external carbon, be that from methanol or be it from glycerin, products like that. So our opportunity is to relook at what's going on in the collection system and what are the chemicals being used, and to change that from techniques that worsen the problem in the sense that they're taking carbon and binding it into biomass. We're looking at alternate approaches of fermentating in the collection system while at the same time controlling sulfide and therefore delivering that carbon being produced internally by the treatment plant. So it's got an elegant aspect to it, but as well as a serious cost savings.
Oh, fascinating stuff. So we were talking pre-show, you and I, just about Weftec, and you indicated you had attended a handful of these technical presentations. So since we're nearing the end of the final day of this exhibition, I'm just curious, when John Walton goes back to work on Monday, what are the key takeaways that you're going to bring from this great event, not only for your own advanced learning, but ultimately to help benefit your end user?
Oh, very good question. The good thing about many of these technical sessions is finding the things that you thought were true that aren't.
Yeah.
Those are always challenging, and seeing unexpected results, because those are always opportunities for new innovation. So I think some of the messages that being a chemical services provider, we do help biological nutrient removal by providing a carbon source. But other ways, iron is a compound that's used throughout the wastewater treatment process. And we, about 15 years ago, headed down a path to where we now have a portfolio of patents involved in recycling or regenerating that iron in situ, as opposed to buying more iron. So there's cost savings associated with that, as well as performance.
Well, it really sounds fascinating. And you mentioned initially this sort of niche where you fit in, not just as a chemical-only company and not a, full service. I'm interested to understand, so when you do get involved in these various different projects, how sort of like long a time frame are you kind of connected to that type of that municipality during a project?
Yeah, obviously it kind of depends on the complexity of the problems.
Yeah.
Some problems are simple, some are overly complex.
Yeah.
So as the whole process is getting more complex, the challenges increase. And what we find now, as you get into the plant, absent of validated plant models, which are used to mathematically describe the treatment plant and all its operations, and if you change one variable, how does that affect the others? And we have some great models in the industry, but they're lacking in certain regards, and one of those is one of our key areas, which is the interaction of iron, sulfur, and phosphorus. as it plays out through various stages of the treatment process.
All right. Well, John, I hate to say it, running low on time. Before we let you go, should anyone have questions on any of this that we talked about today, where do they go to get information?
Absolutely. USperoxide.com, of course.
All right.
Or, excuse me, USPtechnologies.com.
Got it. All right. John Walton, the Vice President of Technology with USP Technologies. John, great to have you. Thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure was ours. All right. All the time we have for now, on behalf of all of us at Water Talk and Water Online, thank you for tuning in. To hear more of our conversations or to learn more about us, go to wateronline.com. Todd Schnick and Bill King signing off for the moment, but don't worry, Water Talk will be right back.